Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This podcast is about dopamine. I know many of you just heard about dopamine and you know it better than me. I know at least the feeling of dopamine. I want to just talk a little bit medical about it. I'm third year medical student, so forgive me for my medical language sometimes in this podcast. If you don't know something, just let me know in the comments. So, let's just do it. Actually, dopamine is short-acting hormone and neurotransmitter. It means that it helps for neurons to transmit messages. It plays main role in reward system and learning and movement control. Neurons secrete this chemical when they want to repeat the procedure that was done before. In evolutionary side of story, it played a huge role. So imagine this. Your estrogen or testosterone level increases when brain wants to push you to make a child. Those are sex hormones. But after orgasm, this hormone level drops hardly, and you find yourself in a position that you don't want to have sex in the future or something. But this is time for dopamine to take action. Dopamine level increases fast to compensate, and you're reaching sense of full joy and well-being. And this feeling makes you addicted to that euphoric state. Or imagine that you're hungry and you have to hunt to make your stomach full. I'm not talking about modern human days and our community. And your cells need to produce those ATPs. ATPs are fundamental material in our body that makes energy in cells. So when you're hungry, hormones like GABA and ghrelin and etc. makes you feel hungry. In your hypothalamus, it's the region of brain. These hormones make you focus on moving object in order to hunt. But after eating, hormones like serotonin, leptin and etc. suppresses your appetite and your body starts digesting process. Now we are full, you must rest. But your brain secretes dopamine to make you enjoy from this process and make you to hunt more and more in future. Actually, these were positive feedback system. Dopamine has major effect on negative feedback system either. That means doing bad things or harmful things that may affect your life will drop dopamine level in brain, and you tend to do less of those things in future. Dopamine is also essential for neurons to arrange their connection and this hormone effect on speed of message that they transfer between each other. So let's talk about Parkinson's disease in this part. I know many of you heard of this problem before. I will use a little bit medical terminology, but I will explain them as far as I can to you. What's Parkinson's disease? It's a disease that you have shaky hands, shaky legs, you can't walk properly, you're just shaking a lot. And the reason of this is region in your brain that called substantia nigra is responsible for secreting dopamine to the synaptic space. It's the space between two neurons. That region now is degenerating, and it makes your brain to produce less and less dopamine over time. Imagine you want to pick a pen from table. You need your brain to command your hand and arms muscle to contract, and some of those muscles in your hands and arms to be suppressed. Actually, these timings are so crucial for our brain. Like, the reason for shaking is you start to move, but you can't stop it. And that's the reason why they can't just put their legs on the proper spots on the floor. What I mean is, for starting and stopping a movement, you need that dopamine in your brain. If you don't have it, you will just continue doing what you do right now, or you can't just start the movement from the beginning. Now we move on to dopamine addiction. Dopamine make you feel loving other people and think positive at the same time. By increasing your message transmitter speed in your brain, it increases your concentration, and by blocking background noise that we don't know the reason of that, it makes you to focus on everything that you want to do right now. It's a price of brain to us to feel ourselves motivated and making habits which brain wants those to be repeated over time. Drugs like cocaine make your cells to produce dopamine without any reason, and you'll experience euphoria. And to repeat this sniff again, every cell of your brain will be begging to you. But this will lead to multiple organ failure and acute infections as dopamine suppress your immune system as well. In patients that they suffer from ADHD and narcoleptic attacks, drugs like Adderall or Ritalin prescribed to make them more calm and focused. These people need these drugs to maintain their current job. But these drugs are one of the most abused drugs by students, especially in medical students, to stay awake during examination night. These kind of drugs are dopamine reuptake inhibitors that cause your dopamine to stay in your synaptic space once it's naturally secreted. Dopamine also increases your heart rate and blood pressure and glucose level in blood. So if you have diabetes, these kind of drugs could be deadly and cause dopamine shock. This hormone makes you highly alerted by smallest change in your environment. So high dose of dopamine in your brain can cause schizophrenia. I will make a podcast about schizophrenia in the future. So if you want it, just leave a comment down there. I will just make it as soon as I can. This hormone also affects on salt reabsorption in your kidney. It can cause you to lose water and dehydrate. Be aware every drug that changes dopamine level in your body is highly addictive. Your body will build tolerance so fast to these kind of drugs. And yeah, that was it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, just let me know by your comment. And if you want me to just do more of these, let me know. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.